Just a moment, sir. I also remember clearly that also at that same reconciliation appearance before the Senate, one of the things he did say was that we never said the money was missing. We said it was not remitted.
Fine.
That if they agree that this is how much they sold, you know, how come we only have this figure?
The question is simple. What did the Senate finally do? Because you said, what are the statements? What did the Senate, the McCarthy-led committee, finally ordered that because of the many figures coming from all of them, they should have a forensic auditing of the figures. The governor of a central bank ought to first do that. When you disagree with figures or you feel that figures are not right, it is not by leaking to the press the letter you wrote to Mr. President complaining about those figures and then making a mismint of your own economy, of your own government, only to discover that it was not $49.8 billion.
Yeah, but Chief,
and you now came and said $12 billion.
Let's look at this matter.
And then you went back to say $20 billion.
The controversies notwithstanding.
Yes.
He has been able to let other people, if not the whole country, know that there's something wrong with the NNPC.
Yes.
Because he says the funds, he insists it's 20.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, he may have stumbled. But he's insisting that...
It's not he may have stumbled. He definitely stumbled.
But 20,
as a CBN governor should be master of figures, he shouldn't stumble.
Yes, but Chief,
because you are playing with figures in the realm of international politics. As you are listening.
$20 billion.
Yes.
That's how much the Sultan of Brunei, who is on the list of the world's richest men, is worth.
Yeah.
And
let me tell you,
if he says that money was paid to Atlantic Energy, which was supposed to have been remitted to the Federation account, shouldn't that be an issue that we should also find out what actually happened to that money?
Of course. Let me tell you. Let me not be seen to say, why are we looking at these figures? I am talking about the process, about the attitude, how to get it out. I am one of those who believe that even if it is 1 kobo billion or 1 billion naira and not even dollars, it is worth looking into. And that is what the Senate finally did, because he was flopping with figures. Do you know the meaning of 49.8 billion, which he first said was missing? Do you know Nigeria's 2 years budget? But it's not up to 49.8 billion.
The impression that
the annual budget today is not more than maybe 20 billion.
But the impression people have about his suspension, which is towards a sack, a removal, as you insinuated, is that they are trying to cover up what has been.
I do not believe so, because one, it was, if I remember carefully, it was the Minister of Finance herself, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who told the Senate panel, appoint a forensic auditor, an external auditor, to look at these accounts, because there should be nothing to hide, and that anybody found should be brought to book. Chief, why is anybody going to hide what?
Chief, if my
account should be audited, and any person found should be punished.
May I quickly come in here? You have accused the suspended CBN governor now, because you know the nomenclature is kind of difficult to come up with, but you've accused him of leaking that letter that was written to the president. It is very important to note that this letter was written in September.
Yeah.
And the press did not get to see it or hear about it until December.
Yes.
Did it bother you that between September and December, there had been, just a moment, sir, there had been no reconciliation meetings held between the agencies of government, as we're now saying? And then does it also bother you that the revelations that we have heard in terms of the accounting for this $20 billion, which has been confirmed not remitted even by the NNPC, was that some of it went on kerosene subsidy, was spent on kerosene subsidy, which was not appropriated for? Would we have gotten to know some of these things now if these revelations were not made, or this alarm was not raised?
See, a CBN governor does not have to raise an alarm to the country. There are inbuilt mechanisms in any government. Any government agency, there is a due process that we have there. There are inbuilt mechanisms. There is the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria.
I hate to interrupt you, but
there is
your answer.
There is the Auditor General of the Federation. There is the Accountant General of the Federation.
Ozekhome, just a moment. May I just quickly chip in here? You have suggested that there are inbuilt mechanisms. My question is suggesting that if between September and December,
yes,
these inbuilt mechanisms failed or did not work. You know, what other mechanisms do you think were left to the CBN government? That is presuming, I mean, that he actually leaked that particular letter.
Well, I will not know who else will leak a letter. If I write a letter to you, the president will not leak a letter written to him saying $49.8 billion is missing.
Now, the reason why that
if the witch cried last night, we will know who killed and the child died this morning, we will know. You are doing, I thought you brought me here to talk because you are doing the talking. You are not giving me the opportunity. You have 2, 3, 4 questions. You are not giving me the opportunity. Because from what I'm also saying, you also have a fixation. And I have tried in this country. I've worked very hard in this country. I've run away from having any fixation or going with the mob or the lynching or lynch them up. I don't do that. I look at issues critically. The way I can answer my God when I drop dead. Now, when you ask questions, you should be able to give me the opportunity. Don't also give the impression that your mind is also fixated, that this is the position, that you agree with him. I do not agree, madam, with you, that when you work in a system, that the way to work in that system is to flip-flop with figures to the whole world, which undermine the economy of that country. Don't forget that the whole world is watching and reading. When you say 49.8 billion naira, dollars is missing, which is more than the 2-year budget of Nigeria. Don't forget that can immediately lead to disinvestment. No one knows what led to the naira suddenly going down the drain.
Would you like to give us your concluding thoughts? Shouldn't the court be led to determine, since there's a lot of controversy on his suspension, which is moved towards removal?
I mentioned section 11, subsection 2C, 2C, where I talked about gross misconduct, serious misconduct. I have also tried to let us know the primary duties and functions of a central bank and the way and manner a central bank governor all over the world should conduct themselves. But it may also interest you to know that from the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, except if you also believe that Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria should not be allowed to do its job also on CBN. Okay? Now, it has also been shown by that council that very, very gigantic, humongous donations had been made without appropriation by the National Assembly, by the governor of CBN. 5 billion naira to Bayero University, Kano.
All right, Chief.
10 billion naira to Madam Fodio University, Sokoto. 500 million naira to the University of Benin. 7.5 billion naira to ASCON Badagry. It may also interest you to know how much money was said to have been paid as legal fees and consultancy fees, 25 billion naira in 2011. When we are talking about transparency and a corruption-free society, we must bring the light on every agency of the government apart from the federal government itself. The NNPC, the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank of Nigeria, all agencies, the National Assembly, the judiciary. Okay. Then we can have a corruption-free society. But any selective amnesia or any selective process of saying some people are sacred cows, some people cannot be touched, this one can be touched, or because he has yelled, that is why they are victimizing him, that is not going to do it. We have to look at the facts and figures on the ground. And I believe that the central bank governor, now on suspension, has not conducted himself properly, all right, with the due reverence to his office.
We have to thank you very much.
And that the suspension was right, and that if I were Mr. President, as I said in my write-up, 8-page write-up, looking at it legally, I would have dismissed him.
Thank you for coming on.
Not just suspension.
Chief Mike is a senior advocate of Nigeria, and we've been taking a look at the suspension of the central bank governor. We've got more perspective coming your way on this program, so please join us again.